Hey girlfriends, thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to jump on and share a quick color look with you. It is the look that I have on in my profile pic, and I've had a lot of people ask me what colors I used, how I did my eyes, and if I could teach that. So, hey Stace. And so I'm going to just walk you through the eyes portion of it. And so the colors that I'm going to be working with today are in our Chroma Fusion 12-hour color line. And so you can see in this color palette, it is Biscotti, that nice light one there, Cinnabar, it's a very cinnamon color, also Espresso, way over here, if you can see that, it's a deep dark chocolate espresso, and then you can even use onyx. And of course you don't have to work with all four colors, as you know probably from our compacts and our palettes, that they are refillable. They come empty and you get to put in anything that you would like to play with. And so this color look that was put together was called, like I said, the Working Overtime colors palette. So I'm just going to walk you through those real quick. And I of course have done everything to prep the skin first. I've already done my foundation and concealer. Sometimes I wait to do the concealers, etc., around the eyes and that till after I do my colors, because if I have troubles with the mascara or liner or any of that application, I don't have to end up taking, cleaning up and wiping away half of my work. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get you guys started. So for the full color eye or background, I like to start out with the color. The full, as you can see, this nice all over color brush, we call it, and starting out with just the light base color. It's almost my eye skin tone the way it is, and this is called Biscotti, and I like to just pat it into place. If you use an eye primer even before this, these stay on amazing. Like I said, these are our 12-hour eye colors. But they do just a primer, just like with your foundation primer. If you've worked with one of those, it helps everything stay put better. It helps it just, again, keep that gorgeous, smooth, crease-proof look. And you can kind of see it's almost my skin tone, but again, already it just highlights that whole area and kind of covers up that uneven skin tone that's in the background. Our lids, especially as we get older, tend to get super thin. And because that skin is so thin, unfortunately, you start to see a lot of the pinks and purples or the veins, right? The blue veins popping through. So I like to, like I said, just pat it into place or glide it on however you like. You can also use a cream or liquid eye color below it as a nice base. These are all matte tones instead of the shimmer. So I did a recent tutorial using shimmers. But again, if you feel more comfortable with mattes, again, especially if you're starting to see some of the creasing, etc., then this is a perfect look to play with. And like I said, it's all kind of the neutral, warmed kind of tones. So for the crease area, I then use our crease brush, which has a nice angled top to it, as you can see. So that then works really nice to get into that crease and push that brow bone back. Now, especially as you can see, even more so on this eye, this is hooded. I have that extra hooded skin, plus they're very deep set. So I want to push that bone back with what I'm doing. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming on today. I'm going to try to do more of these. If there's certain things that you guys would love to learn about, and I know it's tough to get together face to face. Some people are still comfortable getting together just one-on-one with me, and I love that. or with just one or two friends. But if you would like to do a one-on-one just to get that training, I'd love to do that. Or again, if you're in a whole nother state, I can do it via FaceTime and send you the samples and walk you through it step by step. I've done those as well now, and they work out wonderful. Okay, so to continue, this is our awesome eye crease brush. And I like to place that, like I said, right in the corner, and the goal is to push that bone back, or that extra hood in a sense. And again, dark colors and mattes will push back. So again, you can see that huge difference just by adding that second color here. Let me see. Oop, I grabbed hazelnut. I want to go with a little more warm. The cinnabar. As you can see, that's a little more cinnamon, kind of like my shirt. There, yeah. So a little more dramatic, but again, you can always apply any colors as dramatic as you'd like. And you can see I'm pretty much, you want to stay off of the lid at all. If your shape is the same as mine, where you have that deep set, if you have any of the hood falling over the top, this does that visual push. So this is kind of my art background coming into play here. But it, as you can see, yeah, just visually brings that shadow up and pushes that bone back, and really almost is a shadow behind the lashes. So it does really help open up the eyes. Okay, so that's your mid-tone. And then for your accent color, you can use just a smaller color brush, or you can use even a blending brush where it just helps soften a liner. They both work fine that way, because you're just doing really kind of a corner or this outer third, and you're connecting that. And so I'm using espresso for that. Very simple. As you can see, I'm going to keep it very much just in this outer, almost creating a V shape, and you can fill it in as well. And then as you can see, I always clean up that area, and just very gently, we never want to pull on that skin any more than we have to, but basically the idea is to connect all the colors and blend them. And you can do that with a blending brush separately as well. So it's just in that outer corner, outer third. You're almost making a backwards 7. Okay. 7 or backwards 7, depending on which side you're doing. Yeah, this side could come up a little higher, right? Just so it's the same. And then again, you always want to take a clean brush, another just a large clean brush, to soften any edges, take any of those away, and just blend out those edges. Now the goal is to take, is to bring it all together. So again, to take the bottom lash line, I like to take the espresso, or you can take the onyx, which is actually a black. And again, you don't have to if you don't feel comfortable with that. But the nice thing is that because it's a shadow, you can kind of use it like a liner and just bring that gently under, but continue that bottom line and continue it up. And that is exactly where, from the end of the nose, might be easier with my brush, end of the nose to the end of the eye, to the end of the eyebrow, where you're going to want your colors to stop. And you can see how much, again, it just brings that all up. Okay, and then I'll do the same and definitely soften it when I'm done, just a little bit into the lash line, and I'm going to bring it up a little bit too. And the same thing. Now you can also do the same, bringing it across the lash line. However, again, because of how deep set my eyes are, this side you can see a little bit of my lid. This side there's hardly any of it left. So I don't want to lose any eyelid, right? So keeping your liner super thin is a huge deal. It makes a big difference in keeping your eyes looking awake and open. And so using a very defined line, especially on the top, and if you again have any dark circles that you're dealing with, you can see mine today. Allergy season is hitting hard, but that makes a big difference too in either maybe completely avoiding the bottom line altogether if you want to. Okay, so for the liners, we have our pencil liners, we have a gel liner in a little pot. They're both a gel formula, so they just glide on beautifully, and you can even press a eye color into them to actually create any eyeliner shade that you want to, because they stay soft for just a bit. And so it's a really neat trick that you can do. But what just came out is our wonderful waterproof pen liner. And it's like using a Sharpie pen. You can see how fine tipped that is. So with the pen liner, my little trick again is to stay super close. I'm going to use my other mirror here. And really just sketching in the lash line. If I do the bottom at all, I do the very kind of only about halfway and tapering it in. But most important then, same thing, is continuing it up from the bottom and stroking up, continuing that line and just stroking up. Now again, if you have a hood, a little bit of that hood or that skin that's folding, those folds coming over, it's hard to do a cat eye or bring it up because it's kind of going like this, right? If you've tried it and you're like me, you know, right? So just bringing it up and then just a few millimeters, I guess you would say, past that line. And then the idea is you're almost going straight across to almost the center, or probably a third of the way, and then filling this in. So we're redrawing essentially the shape of our eye, that eye line. Ooh, yeah. So again, you can see by doing that, just taking it up a little bit. Sorry, I don't know if you can see me. There you can. And blending it in. My lashes are fighting me. And the other thing is from beneath is how I like to approach my lash line. So I like to come in from the bottom and stroke into the lash line so that I don't get a thick line coming from the top. You can do whichever way is easier for you. But again, being I have my hand trimmer on top of it, and if you deal with a shaky hand, this allows me to rest my hand while doing it. Okay, so that finishes that eye quick. Oh, I got a lot of the black, didn't I? The onyx eyeshadow. I'll clean up at the end. That's why, like I said, I like to do it, bring it across. Often I'll do my eyes, everything on my eyes first. And then the same thing where I bring it up a little past, and then it's almost, again, like this long triangle is what you're creating. So you could see how much that had dragged my eye down on this side because the fold naturally goes whoop, and we're kind of redrawing that line and that focus and bringing it up. Okay, so let's see. Got both eyes pretty similar. All right, so shows you the awesome importance of a liner and how you can recreate that however you like, but depending on your eye shape. But again, I love waterproof, love waterproof liners and mascaras, just because again, with the deep set and the hooded eyes and those creases, I don't want anything going into the creases. I don't want my makeup to budge or move. And so having something that stays put all day, yeah, that's what I want. I want to do it once, right? Do it and forget it. So it earns its name, right? The working overtime look. So I am just gonna throw on a little mascara here too. Again, this is our waterproof mascara. We have numerous options to pick from. Like this one, you can actually go swimming in, take a shower and whatever, and you're not going to end up with the black eyes, the panda eyes, right? And so the same idea. We do have though a Lash Love regular mascara where it's water resistant, where if your eyes water a little bit, it still works great. You know, or water from the wind, if you're outside, any of that. Some people just prefer not to do waterproof. Years ago, I think they used to say that they would make them, it would make your lashes brittle or something like that. And so, I have, you know, I used to avoid it, but, and that they used to bother a lot of people with contacts. But again, the great thing is I have contacts, no problem for me. Yeah, I want to clean up just a little of the fallout afterwards. And you can put some extra powder below if you deal with that at all. But just that black, the onyx can do that a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to go back in and do a little concealer. Like I said, I did do my foundation beforehand. I often do my concealer first. I'm going to just do a little bit of that just to touch up a little bit. And the concealer can go all the way across, and especially in here where it's super dark and super blue, because again, with a deep set eye, which most of us around here have, that deep set eye, you have such a dark shadow that happens already. Look at that, right? So that's the concealer. We have another one called, it looks almost the exact same, it's a light peach tone, called our under eye corrector. And you can use it all the way across, but if you also even have a little bit of a bag going on where it causes that shadow, you don't want to lighten up the entire thing, or now it's all light and you still have that shadow happen, right? So the idea is you can use your finger, or we have this awesome, I love our pointed concealer brush or liquid eye brush, eye color brush, because it can get into those fine points. But that's just it. I might have even gotten a little too much. So you could pat it in there with your finger too. The idea is by keeping it just under in that dark spot there, it reflects that. Yeah? Cool difference, right? So another fun little trick. So, I never did pat this one out yet, did I? So I'll pat out the concealer. And again, you don't want to bring it back and forth, or you push the color here and here and you don't get it here where most of us are really dark, right? So that's the concealer. And then I'm going back in with the under eye corrector, which actually has not only, it's a peach or kind of a peachy tone, which will neutralize the blue. It's the opposite of the blue on the color wheel, but it also has light reflectors in it. So, and it's not going to be a perfect science here, but it is kind of what you're dealing with, is a little bit of a science. When you pat it into just that area where you're really blue and under the bag. Cool. Yeah, just reflects that for you. So, any questions? I hope this was a good quick tutorial for you guys. Like I said, this is the working overtime look that'll last you all day. I did my lips ahead of time. Ooh, I forgot my cheeks. So I like to do for my cheeks, a lot of times I do actually a real quick swipe of these two colors. So the first one, the top is my cheek color, which is Shy Blush, and the bottom one is our contour, which is Latte. And again, you always want a contour to be matte, to push back or to recess something. So the cool thing is that you can take it by stacking the two colors, and you can do that with our new palettes too. And I just swiped it across and you get the two colors on there at once. So I might need to do more for this side. But you can just see super quick. See any lines? Or I flip it over and soften it. But if you don't want to spend tons of time highlighting, this one already has that nice shimmer to it in the cheek color. The contour is already a matte, and whoosh, you've got them both done. So that's my quick get ready. I did this, it takes just a few minutes in the morning without explanation. And I hope this helps you guys out. I will list the colors below again, and would love to do some more of these for you all. So if there's certain things that you would like to learn, certain challenges that you're dealing with, certain colors that you'd love to see, any of those tricks, I'd love to share them with you. Like I said, on here or face-to-face or via FaceTime. And yes, take care everybody and stay in touch.